welcome back to Inside Africa Football, where the game goes beyond the pitch. And I mean this literally because this week, African football gave us chaos and drama at the highest level. All of a sudden, CAF overturned. It was all of a sudden because, I mean, we didn't know what was going on behind the scenes before last night. So I thought that it was just Chelsea fans playing pranks on us. That, oh, we want to just get distracted with our loss. Oh, you don't need to see the 3-0, loss at Stamford Bridge. It was real. After the game, we're like, oh, this is happening. This is happening. CAF overturned the result of the AFCON final and handed the trophy, or the win, rather, to Morocco after some very controversial circumstances came up. Well, we'll be doing this along with Samson. So, hi, Samson. How are you doing?
Doing okay. I'm doing well. I'm trying to get my mind, my thought together, whether I'm an African or.
Oh, you're wearing a Morocco jersey.
Yes.
All of a
Morocco.
sudden, of
Yes.
all the
This
days.
is the best thing that can happen to you, you know.
To who?
To
Me?
you, yes.
Why?
Being a Moroccan, associate with
Shout out to
them.
Ahmed Musa. I'm so Nigerian.
Come on, this is the most talked about country in the world right now.
It is. But you didn't have to wear their jersey.
No, I needed to make a statement.
You made it.
This is the country. This is the place to be.
Well, it's good to have you on the show.
I mean, it's good to be here. It's been 1 week of sumptuous event around the sporting world.
Yeah.
But for us on the African continent, so much to talk about, so much to relish, and of course, so much to review.
All right, so I'm just going to take a peep at my phone so
please.
I can just, let's give you an idea of what we want to talk about. And I don't want to be misquoted. I don't want to be misunderstood. And I don't want to make any error while saying it. So in a very stunning turn of event, CAF's appeal board has overturned Senegal's 1-0 AFCON final win, awarding the title to Morocco via a 3-0 forfeit. I hope you're paying attention. Now, the decision stems from Senegal's brief walk-off during stoppage time after a controversial penalty award. Despite Senegal returning to finish the match and scoring in extra time, CAF cited Article 82 and 84 of tournament regulations, which state that the team leaving the grounds without referee authorization automatically forfeits. Senegal has announced plans to appeal, though, to CAS in Switzerland, while Morocco is now officially crowned African champions for the first time since 1976. Now, let's talk about the rule and the reality, because I know that it's something that has been crazy all of a sudden. In fact, I was very emotional about it when I was on radio in the morning, and I said, oh no, CAF is a very shitty organization. CAF embarrassed the continent. CAF cannot just wake up and make decisions like this. If you're citing Article 82 and 84 of the tournament, I think that to some extent, like I said, the referee has to take some responsibility. If the players forfeited the game by walking off the pitch, and Article 2 is saying if players should leave the grounds. Now, grounds is a word that can relatively be described as something else that is not the pitch.
That's right.
It means that the players were in the stadium. And everything that happened prior to the players coming back to the pitch meant that has been forfeited and has been forgotten. Because if the referee had decided that, oh, it's game over since you walked off the pitch, then Senegal would be healing from their wounds by now. But after close to 3 months, you are making a decision and saying that whatever the referee decided is not final. When can we have a reality check that the appeal board can overrule the decision of a referee on the pitch?
You know, it's so unfortunate that this is happening to us in Africa. It's happening to the Confederation of African Football at a time where it appears we were almost or gradually trying to gain the confidence of the world in terms of, the kind of good advertisement African football seems to have had in the last 4 years, 5 years, especially coming out of the 2023 AFCON in Ivory Coast, and then, of course, getting into Morocco. I mean, this is the last thing any right-thinking person will want to see happen to. So there's a whole lot that we need to talk about. Even for me, there's a whole lot that I don't even know where to start from. But, I like to say that this is not where it started from.
Where did you start from?
Beautiful. If you remember during the African Cup of Nations, was it the game against Cameroon. I'm not really
The
sure.
quarterfinal, Morocco versus Cameroon.
Morocco versus Cameroon.
Yes.
You know, there were some issues around
A lot of
referees
issues.
and all that.
Yes.
Oh, we are not comfortable, this, that, and all that. And eventually, CAF went ahead to change a referee for that game. Now we got into the final. Here is Morocco, of course, going up against Senegal. And then there were a lot of things that went down in that final. I mean, we can't go over it again and all that. So you begin to ask yourself, okay, some of the calls that were made by the referee. I mean, at some point, a lot of people were saying, did anything happen? Or did the referee, did he get some briefing before the game, and all of that?
Why was that? Did he show some sort of bias to Morocco?
No, that's what I'm saying. Bias to Morocco. I mean, so look at the disallowed goals and all of that. Could we have sorted out these there and then and not having to get to the point where it became so obvious, it became so glaring that, I mean, calls were made and then it didn't go down well with of course, with Senegal, as it were. And it was the final. All eyes were on that Prince Moulay Abdullah Stadium in Rabat. And then whatever happened. Now, could we have salvaged whatever it was left? Because, I mean, I'm going through some of the commentaries, some of the big pundits in the world. I'm looking at all the big, sporting channels, and the commentary is not good, from embarrassing to disgraceful to unbelievable. All manner of adjectives have been used to describe this very avoidable situation. And then I'm sitting back and I'm asking, okay, is CAF not thinking as to what this is going to do for African football going forward? Now, let's get back to the rules we were talking about. Now, I've been trying to go through some of the articles and, of course, even refereeing decisions, right? Can a referee's final call be upturned
by an
appeals board? Now, people will argue, hey, look, what about red card? I mean, you appeal. Yeah, those are a red card. But when you talk about the 90-minute game and a referee conclusively, bring an end to that proceeding, can that proceeding go back and be upturned? Okay, see, what you're literally saying is, okay, that handball that you gave the call for, let's go back and reverse it. I'm just thinking, yes, we'll have an article that was, okay, just as you pointed out, a bit not too clear. Now, I'm also reading, and I don't know if this is correct, that there's a minimum time for players to get off the pitch before they get back. One says 7 minutes, others said 15 minutes. Another said, oh, look, there are a certain number of players that need to remain on the pitch for the referee to decide that the game is being called off.
Please, before you go on, let me ask you, because you were in Morocco and live,
please.
we were watching on the screens and we'll probably see only the things that the camera decides to show us.
Very well.
Did all Senegal players leave the pitch as at the time that the penalty was awarded to Morocco?
To be honest, there was a lot of chaos going on around the stadium,
course,
so I will not be able to say completely.
Is it okay to say that the reason why Senegal players left the pitch was not entirely because they wanted to leave in protest? It was because of some of the fan trouble that occurred in the stadium, because it didn't start at that minute. Remember that their goal was disallowed shortly before that penalty decision came up.
That's right.
So it's safe to say that was also partly the reason why we saw those reactions from Senegal players.
That's a fantastic ground for an appeal by the Senegalese Football
Federation. I'm going
Federation.
to make a great lawyer.
Absolutely. And I think I can hire as my defense counsel when I get into football issues.
Yeah.
But the point again is that I'm just thinking that with our governance issue, I don't know what CAF is trying to achieve with this. I don't know which pressure they are under to come out with this decision, even though, it's the CAF appeals board and all that. Now, there's a whole lot also that went on this. I don't know whether people knew that the first disciplinary board that was set up, the head of that board that oversaw this was also removed. Leading up to this, and then this had to be reconsidered again. In the first instance, when the appeal went through, when both sides appealed this whole thing, over $1 million, in fines and bans on players and officials
for both countries.
For both countries, and I thought that was a good way to go.
And maybe they would have concluded whatever grievances they had at that
time,
point,
and even issue an apology.
Yes.
CAF and me now to say, look, we're sorry for whatever happened.
Yeah.
Okay, this and that, and let's move on. You're
But instead,
taking
CAF looks like they were putting the body and all the blame all
on
on Senegal.
And quite unfortunately, now, well, even though the issues around ball boys picking up towels and all that.
Let's not bring the Nigerian factor because left to me, I think Nigeria should have won the AFCON. So let's not even.
So, but it's really very sad. It's very unfortunate that when commentaries and stories will have to be told about the 2025 AFCON, it will be shrouded in a lot of unfortunate commentary, a very dark, a very unfortunate, again, I use the word, for African football situation that will come out of it. So you have now going into, I mean, I heard a bit of celebrations in Morocco, in some part of Morocco and all of that. You know, people are celebrating and all of that. But I mean, how will you feel? You know, the beauty about a final is that, look, you have all the confetti going on. You got,
the
ceremonies. I mean, the medals are presented.
I'm sorry, are they overturning everything? So will they organize a new ceremony for Morocco and say, we're going to take back the medals we gave to Senegal?
But it's possible they're going to take the medal back. They're going to take the medal back.
What if they've shared it among the players and they've squandered it? You know, the lifestyle of footballers.
Those are the troubles this kind of decision will bring forth.
That's crazy.
And it's only for CAF now to sit back and... But again, this is not the end of it. I mean, just as you said in your intro, what do you call it? The CAS, you know, the arbitration for sports in Switzerland will have to look at this appeal again. And but my worry is that will African football be taken be taken seriously from this point again? That's my biggest worry.
I think I barely slept last night. I was following the conversations. You know, X, formerly Twitter, is a street for opinions, and you see different
and very strong
types.
Opinions.
I remember just some weeks ago, even during the AFCON tournament, when Karaha undermined. Undermined the AFCON tournament and made it look as if it was not a big tournament. It was very useless. And that was a picture he painted. And all of a sudden, this came up. I'm on my mind, and I'm like, they just made him very valid. Yeah. And it seems as if what he said, what Jurgen Klopp said when he was Liverpool's coach, everything, they're proving their points now.
You just handed over.
Belittled the tournaments that we've held so dear in Africa. Yeah. I'll still take you back again. You were asking something, what's in it for CAF? So I was telling some of the guys here, just conspiracy theory in my head, and I'm just thinking, what if CAF was doing this because they are still, let's say, low-key begging Morocco to host the WAFCON, and we need you to host the WAFCON. Let's do something to make you host the WAFCON. Or let's say they want to just do it and say, we want to clear our names so it doesn't seem as if we did not help you. Maybe there was arrangement pre-AFCON that, we're going to give you the trophy for all of the hospitality you've shown African football for hosting every major tournament in Africa for the past 3 years. So we want to do this to, compensate you. Like Ali said one time when he said the Remo Stars were compensated with the league. So what if they want to do that and they're saying, it's really beyond our control now that Senegal has won it, since maybe the referee did not listen to what we told him to do. And maybe at the end of the day, when you go to CAS, we know that Senegal will win. And then when you lose, we could say, it was not us. That's CAS. It's beyond us. Conspiracy theory, by the way. Still, procedure. In the IFAB rule, in the Rule 5, where it talks about the referees having the autonomy of deciding how a game should end.
That's right.
Like I said, this is not about the appeal anymore. Whatever happened, the walk-off has happened. And my question is, why didn't the match commissioners, the fourth official, all of those that are involved in officiating games, they saw everything that happened, they were at the stadium, why didn't they bring the attention to the central referee and say, there's a rule for this tournament, Rule 82. What happens to all the officials that have been paid by CAF to make sure that's officiating or something when these things come up? That's why you have tournament regulations. Call the attention of the central ref and say, hello, this is what it says, that when you leave the pitch for, maybe so number of time or how long you've left the pitch in protest to this, you forfeited the game, and the referee can say, the game is over. But that did not happen. It seems as if these rules have been made up and they are now interpreted, differently in a way to favor Morocco. So even when you have sympathy for Morocco after the AFCON final and the shenanigans that happened, you will lose it for Morocco.
I don't understand.
No. I'm saying even if you did, if you had sympathy for them and say, they were cheated, you know that the sympathy could have been there. But Brahim Diaz decided to play Penenka at a time when they needed a goal. And the good thing is Senegal did not even get a goal from any set piece whatsoever. It was from open play and it was a fantastic goal. So there was nothing that anybody could have done about it. I'm saying that the sympathy could have been lost after the decision that CAF has made all of a sudden. Where do we go from now? And should we just wait until appeals usually take months, or it could take, in fact, I'm sure that the decision will come way, way after both teams have played at the World Cup. So it's a very dicey thing. What do we do with situations like this? I'll say this again. I can cite examples with 2019, the CAF Champions League. I think it was Esperance of Tunis, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not very good with the CAF Champions League history and all of that. But I think it was in 2019 when something like that happened. A decision of the referee was, but immediately it was overturned. And I think that it was very fast. And that's because they knew the rules and they knew how to use the rules. That we need this number of, we must appeal after 48 hours. We must appeal after 24 hours, which would still bring us to the Nigeria DR Congo thingy. But I'll say this again. Morocco is showing us that they desperately want to win the AFCON and want to be AFCON winners at all costs, no matter what it takes, whether it's right or wrong. They do not care about how they treat other countries because there are so many excuses, so many. You can't sit down, I am venting right now. You cannot tell us that of all the videos that are out there on the internet.
That's right.
You cannot clean those videos. You cannot wipe them away because we have them of what we've seen. The treatment of some federations at the AFCON tournament, and you think that this is supposed to just be easy for you to go to the boardroom and make a decision, and all of a sudden you're champions. I can't even hear myself saying that I'm calling Morocco champions because, to be honest, they did not deserve it.
When the news broke late Tuesday night, I was looking forward to the reactions, and those, it appears, maybe the continental body was trying to appease were even more shocked, right? Because I was flipping through the channels, going through X and checking what people were saying, and it was that of a shock. So when I saw those reactions, I mean, what came to my mind was the fact that CAF could have still avoided this. And then, of course, the way and manner this news broke also was a big concerning for me.
The timing.
Right? The timing, the place, and all that. I was thinking that, the president could have taken it upon himself to call a war press conference.
Of course.
And then address this matter, put a context to it, rather than the messages that we got on X. I think that's where the statement was released on the official handle of CAF and all of that. And just to situate what you're saying, I can agree with you, Les. I don't know. And again, we must, cut the slack for CAF to a point. We don't know the kind of pressure, the kind of things, the kind of details, and all other things that were playing around this decision.
Emphasis on pressure.
Yeah, pressure. Yeah. We don't know. And,
but we've seen a little bit of pressure from Morocco. It was a little bit evident.
Yes, sure. Yeah, from Morocco, obviously. But I'm not sure from Senegal or anywhere else. Or even from the big boys, FIFA themselves. Because that's another angle a lot of people are not looking at. FIFA, for the sake of the integrity of the game, may have also, whispered to CAF and say, hey, look, guys, what are you doing with this thing that happened? It may not tell so well. What are the rules, governing this game, especially with AFCON? What's going on? So there's so much going on, but I can tell you something, right on that. We'll get down to the bottom of this some way, somehow. Somebody's going to tell us months down the road, even or weeks down the road, that, hey, look, this is actually what happened. This is what, but I think we need some explanation. All that we're hearing is that, because of, the article and all that, you're forfeiting the game, you're forfeiting the final, and we're giving them, the Morocco is now declared winners with 3 goals and all of that. Somebody was jokingly saying on radio this morning that, so who scored the goals? It was just a goal.
Maybe it's Brahim Diaz.
So those are the kind of things that, we've become short of jokers when it comes to administration of our football. And I think that it's time, right? And I must emphasize it, it's time that the administrators of our football need to go back to that boardroom
Yes.
and ask themselves, where do we see African football? Where do we intend to take African football? And for those of them who have caused us this problem, directly, indirectly, inadvertently, needs to apologize to football-loving fans like myself and you and every other person out there
And me.
that say, hey, look, we got this one wrong.
Well, they're going to still let it be. I hope that they upgrade our own trophy to silver too.
But again, you said something very important, which we must also emphasize that, look, you have these managers who hate African football. Number one, who also don't consider African football to be anything big, anything to be respected. We should avoid handing them a talking point. But unfortunately, we have.
And it's going to be remembered for years to come.
A long time to come.
Yesterday, I was having a conversation in the night with someone, and I kept saying, if I'm going to look back time and say, is something like this happened before? I can hardly remember. But now, we will remember this.
We will, sure
and
will.
it looks as if CAF undermined the referee's authority. And if FIFA is involved in this, does FIFA supersede IFAB rules? Because I think that they are on the same level, and that is where the rule comes in Article 5 for FIFA as well, where the referee's decision on the field is final. We'll see. Interesting times ahead. Whatever that has happened, but I'm sure that Nigerians would vent because we've had our fair share of run-ins with Morocco, and I think that I give respect to our women, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, because they know how to handle this kind of matters. The last WAFCON. I'm still trying to wrap my head around a tournament that Esther Koronko, who was the match winner, player of the game for the WAFCON final. Before the final, she was player of the tournament, I think, twice. Aside that, she kept Asisat Oshola on the bench. If you know what that means, she earned her place in the Falcons team. She should have been player of the tournament. Guess what? She was not shortlisted for the player of the tournament. 2 Moroccans who lost the final, and Rashida Sajibadi, which, we thought, she's the captain of the side, let's manage her. Guess what? She did not win it. How do you have a player of the tournament?
Very well. Who eventually couldn't become...
I'm going to pick a Chelsea player to be the player of the UEFA Champions League for this season. And let's know if that makes sense. After they've been knocked out in the quarterfinals. Why must you speak
about Chelsea?
I'm just saying.
But you could have used any other example.
Which team crashed out? Chelsea. Bordeaux. Yeah, mate. I'm sorry.
Let's talk
if
about
a Chelsea fan, follow more African football. Your heart will not be broken if you love the drama. Well, here, we're living for it. I'm sure that some people say, we're thriving on negative news. No, we are not. Because we want things to be better. That's why we're talking about it. Well, I just wish that CAF would be able to make this decision or whatever it is quickly. Senegal is going to CAS, and I'm sure that if they have a lawyer that is 10 times smarter than me, if I'm this smart, they should be able to win this case. I already have enough points to make them win this case.
But there'll be a lot of consideration, right?
Of course, there will be a lot of consideration.
There will be a lot of consideration.
But they will still stand on the rules, except if they change them before they go to the appeal. I'm sure that they won't.
But let's look out for this space. But as I said at the beginning of my opening statements, at the beginning of my statement for this show, it's one time that you just want to just ask yourself, oh God, why did I come from this continent?
Well, Morocco, they make it look as if you're not from this continent. So
why?
Since you're from Morocco.
I'm just wearing the jersey. I'm identifying with the trending topic for...
You're identifying with Morocco. You're trying to say, remember you said you wore only champions' outfit. For the moment, just less than 24 hours when Morocco were crowned champions. Ew. It's not even sound right.
Are you wearing a champions jersey, by the way?
Canopilas not a bad team for this NPFL. No, forget. Canopilas. Forget that they're fighting relegation, but Canopilas is the big deal.
I wish you all the success.
Canopilas is a big team in the NPFL than Morocco in Africa.
Really?
Just going to look at it in the last 3 years. Canopilas, way back in time, before I was born. When did you start knowing Morocco in African football? Tell me about it.
Really?
When last did they win the AFCON? 1971.
Yeah, more than 30 years, more than
You were
40
born.
years ago. Say that
You were
again.
born then. I'm
No, I
sure.
wasn't. I wasn't.
You were.
I wasn't.
There goes my.
Can we move on?
We can. Well, like I said, decisions in the boardroom certainly would overshadow any conversation we would have on this podcast today because inside Africa football, there's a lot of drama happening. So you know that
I'll be talking about drama.
it's
We,
this
we
drama.
left off with Safa last week.
We
and
went
then
on with Safa,
didn't-
and this time
we
around,
didn't know
it's,
that it's 1 week, one drama for African football.
I'm
And
glad
by the
that-
way, that's why it's inside African football, man.
Exactly.
Weekly, I mean, you can get this kind of drama.
I'm glad that this episode came
No
just
dull moments.
right after this decision was taken. I
Yeah.
would vent if we had recorded this and then CAF decides to make the decision like Thursday night. I'll be mad. I'll be forced to make another recording because I must express myself. But you know, if you had hopes that, oh, Sime will be at the World Cup, you're gonna see Ademola Lookman. Oh, forget it. 1 minute silence.
Okay, let's observe it. Let's do it.
I saw some fans observe a candlelight procession for Chelsea fans yesterday at the viewing center. So, trying to relate, pouring my energy into that for the Nigerian team.
Thank goodness I'm not a Chelsea fan, so I don't know this personal.
I'm sorry, it's not
I mean,
personal.
you're getting too personal.
No,
No, you are.
world champions 8-2. That's the year, if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
If
Nigeria
you're
will
a
not
Chelsea
be at
fan,
the World Cup.
if you're a Chelsea fan and you're not excited about what I'm saying,
Then you should
go to the
subscribe.
comments and let us know. And of course, we'll do something about that.
We'll do something about it.
Yeah.
We're going to massage your ego with something blue.
Yeah, so you were talking about
We're not going
The
to
World
the
Cup.
World Cup.
Yeah.
And the appeal that the NFF sent to FIFA whatsoever for the playoffs was not denied because it was wrong or they were right. Procedural processes that we're having issues with. What is wrong with our country? The rule says when you have things like this or when you have situations like this off the pitch, on the pitch, make sure you report them within 24 hours or 48 hours. And our appeal came 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, the NFL president woke up and said, oh, they fielded ineligible players. We need to appeal.
yeah.
Then they appealed and they lost it. So now, look at what you guys are doing to Tinubu. This old man, he was so excited that he was going to put you guys in the budget going to the World Cup, that you told him there was a window that you would go to the World Cup.
Also, we have
Because of negligence.
we
or
have budget
simple-
for the we have budget for the Super Eagles, the 2026.
I don't
budget
know.
for
I'm
the
just
World
saying,
Cup.
maybe there
Oh,
could
okay.
be.
Okay.
Baba loves sport.
Yeah, he does.
Does. Very well. So I'm saying, then they appealed 2 weeks later and FIFA decided to say, oh, we're throwing this out the window because
It
you guys
is
are not
what it
serious,
is.
man. It is what it is. Still brings me back to the unseriousness of Nigerian football and the failures of our administrators. Then during the week again, we're having conversations of Iwobi coming to tell us in broad daylight while so many players decide to choose other countries over African countries. And you begin to look at the reason why the likes of Temi Abraham did not pick Nigeria over England, even though I don't know how that is going for him, all these Chelsea former players anyway. Well, he talked about how he booked his flights, how there are no logistics preparations for them before they join the team for international tournaments. And these are players that have had privilege. He was born here as an infant in Nigeria, but he grew up in the UK. It's possible that he could have decided that, oh, I'm going to play for England. And he could have played for England, but he said, oh, I want to play for my motherland. I'm from Nigeria. I want to play for Nigeria. And this is how we treat them, which brings us to the fact that, oh, there's nothing hidden under the sun. Because you do that, you're going to pay for it. And it's like karma. And now, look, we're not going to the World Cup, not because we did not play good football, but because we're just very, very ignorant and negligent about a very few things.
That's number one. But the question I would like to ask is, and I'm asking you is, in all honesty and sincerity, right, did you envisage or in your assessment, do we deserve to be at the World Cup?
So my assessment, I'm going to have
Based on the games we played at the qualifiers, during the qualifiers.
Based on the games we played.
During the qualifiers.
Qualifiers is a long way back.
Yeah.
So I don't want to. So if it's
No,
from the
it's on the
very
basis of
beginning-
that, because that was that,
On the basis of
yes,
that?
because that is a precursor for us to go to the World Cup, not
Then
what
no.
happened after it.
Then no.
So why should we bother about and get head over heels about the fact that we're not going to the World Cup? I think I've been to 2 World Cups, right? And the feeling is different. It's the biggest spectacle in the world.
Yeah.
If you're at the World Cup, it's like a festival you don't want to miss for anything. You can actually go to the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
I don't get into the stadium. And the kind of excitement and fun you will see.
But you were at the stadium where the World Cup was played.
Absolutely. I met this gentleman in Russia 2018. I was
That was arguably one of the best World Cups, by the way.
and I agree with you. And then we're on the train from Moscow to St. Petersburg. I'm not sure. And I just got talking, with him and all that. I saw this young boy. He was about 10 years old with him and all that. And I'm like, who is this? Oh, it's my son. We've planned 4 years to be at this World Cup. We've saved in the last 4 years to be at this World Cup. And they were so excited and all that.
Where are they from?
From Brazil.
Oh.
From Brazil. I asked them and I did a story about them and all of that. Now, that's for fans, not to talk about players. Who knows that, look, eventually if they get to the World Cup, their market value is going to double.
Of course.
They have opportunities to grow their career and all of that. That's part one. Part two is that you also have officials who will benefit also from going to the World Cup. Either by allowances, by whatsoever they try to get from all of those and all of that. And then we're not serious. We're not in Qatar. And here we are again. We joked
About it.
And as I'm speaking to you, those jokers are still there.
And honestly,
those who got us to that point,
mistake.
they are
It's
still
just
there.
Negligence at the highest level.
Absolutely. So it's altogether sad, and I had taken my mind off the fact that we're going to the World Cup. So when all these decisions were coming, or whether it's not going to come and all that,
I just waited for whatever
just
people
waited
was
for
going to
anything that would
decide.
come.
I
Yeah.
mean,
So
we
Nigeria
can
should just
accept-
get ready for 20 what?
Yes.
2030.
And we're not sure if these our star players
know?
would be at that World Cup.
Yeah.
Because one thing with
Sure,
football, you
sure.
could be out of form, you're getting older, and time
Very
is for
few of
no
them
one.
will make it to the World
And
Cup.
Nigerians, I'm
Next
sure
World-
that
if at all we get
we
there.
can accept losing on penalties.
Yes.
We can accept whatever decision it is. But
That's right.
what I will not accept is losing a legal case because you did not follow simple procedure.
Yeah,
Simple
and then
procedure.
just like Morocco that we just finished talking about, went through the boardroom, then ended out through the back door,
Exactly.
and came in as champions. We were exploring that route too,
Yeah.
to get into the World Cup. And
Even though ours was, I think it's a bit dicey. It's different. It's a
yeah,
little
I know
bit
it's different, and there were possibilities of squeezing us through. But again, there's also some serious politics also going on at that level. That if you know, you know.
I mean, if you follow clubs in Europe that have lost cases at the Court of Arbitration for sports due to just very minor technicalities, and it could just be that you just dropped something a minute after the minute you were supposed to drop it. Not because your case was not valid, not because you do not have evidence.
That's right.
And we, very Nigerian in us. This one hurts more than it does.
No, it
Denying
does,
the chance
it
to
does.
even be
It's
heard.
painful. Honestly, I must say that it's painful that
It's
we're not
better
going to
you
the
were
World
heard
Cup.
and you
Yes.
lost the case.
Yeah.
But you were not even heard.
Yeah.
I say, oh, get out the way because you're not even here on time. Nigeria.
Nigeria, my
In
Nigeria.
Nigeria never happened to you. This
I
is
mean-
one of the biggest administrative failures we've seen in recent years. It's an embarrassment. And I'm sure that some people will be talking about it and jumping on it as well. But in as much as we don't have time to talk about a lot of things like Iran withdrawing from the World Cup or saying that FIFA should move their games to Mexico or Mexico, whatever you want to call it, instead of the US due to the ongoing war. I hope that there's peace in the land because we want
But are we
peace.
sure they are not really going to the World Cup?
I think
Will they
they
be at the
want to.
World Cup? Will they not be at the World Cup?
Well, the FA is different from their what do you call it now? Those people that
Their
fight in the
supreme
wars, their supreme
leader.
leaders. So
Yeah.
maybe the decision has not been finalized on. The decision has not been made.
Yeah, they may even take that and may not have officially even communicated FIFA. They may also look at this as a way of trying to put pressure on FIFA
Just
and
to move
even
their
the
games to another region.
to region, and they also want to use that as a basis based on the feedback they are getting from FIFA to say, hey, look, are you denying us our rights to be at the World Cup? And then, of course, they may like to also trigger a few things that will also get FIFA really on their toes, and something they also would like to avoid, because again, FIFA will not want to be thriving on any form of controversy leading up to the World Cup in June 2026.
Well, we look forward to what is going to be the preparations and some of the teams that will join the others at the World Cup with the remaining playoffs yet to be played. The CAF Champions League lived up to expectations. I'm sure that you saw our preview in the previous episodes. But of course, we thought that we're going to have blockbuster due to the ties in the CAF quarterfinals, the Champions League and the Confederations Cup. But the Champions League, only one game gave us that spectacle, and it was Mamelodi Sundowns. They downed Stade Malien 3-0. And an interesting fact, this is the best attacking team versus the best defensive team. Then you begin to ask questions, how did the most defensive, solid team concede 3 goals in the first leg of the quarterfinals? But of course, that tells you that when attack is, ask Chelsea fans, they will understand. I didn't mean to give that example.
Chelsea fans, sorry.
It happened recently.
On behalf of Ryron, I like to apologize.
I am really sorry.
On her behalf.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
Don't go there again before the end of this podcast.
I just thought 3
Just
goals.
Just a caution. Don't go there again.
I'm just talking about 3-0 last night. 3-0. I was just...
You just what?
We didn't have so many 3-0 score lines. It's just the 2 that happened recently.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I'm sorry.
You must not specifically call those out. Just go ahead with what you're saying.
I have to give examples so you can relate with me.
Okay. I hope there won't be any other example that will be related to the Blues before the end of the show.
I hope
so go ahead with what you said about Mamelodi Sundowns
the dominance.
Malien.
They are really setting the standard high for CAF football, and it's something that we love to see. For years, we've talked about North African dominance in CAF competitions, and there's a South African team that is saying, "Oh, hold up." Really, we are now the clearest example that with the right structure and every other thing that is in place, then we can thrive. And we've seen that with Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah, Mamelodi Sundowns, unarguably the best team to come out of Southern Africa.
Yeah.
In recent times. You also look at what they're doing with not just their home league, the PSL, but also with COSAFA. The regional Southern African football competition and championship. They're really doing very well. And looking at the game that was played last weekend, it was against one of the strongest West African opposition.
Yes.
Stade Malien is not just, as I said, best defensive side. I mean, their records are there, and 3 was quite a lot. I didn't see that coming. And but Mamelodi Sundowns, look out for them. They didn't get it so well during the last season.
Yeah.
So they are still suffering that hurt, and they are bringing everything into it.
Yes.
I mean, I remember when Pizzo used to be with them, Pizzo Mosimane, their coach. Also, I mean, if you look at their trajectory in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, they've done so well in terms of their recruitment. They've done so well in terms of their technical, composition. But
I mean, I remember them at the Club World Cup.
yes,
Fantastic team to come out of Africa, by the way, and not North Africa, by the way. So yeah, I think for me, the meme of the week had to be the game between Esperance of Tunisia and Al Ahly, and it was not even the game; it was the referee. So
what was it about the referee?
Full time, the referee just stood, hands behind his back, pulled out his red card, and then he held it. The game was chaotic. Very chaotic. You have one of the biggest teams in Tunisia against the biggest, in fact, defending champions, the biggest team in Egypt playing against each other. So it's a North African showdown. And you know that there will always be fire. There will always be a lot of tension in those kind of games. Then the referee just stood there, stewards surrounding him. It's not even the first time he's doing that. And he just did that, in case you think you're trying to approach me, I have a red card waiting for you. And for about 5 minutes, no player, no official came close to the referee, and I love it. Why can't Nigerian referees be like that? Why can't you be very solid in your decisions? And I respect what the referee did. It means that, hey, everything that happened on the pitch, I decided that I own up to my decisions, whether you like it or not, whether you feel I am right or not. This is why I am standing here. And he did not even leave the pitch. He stood on the pitch there, just with the red card in his hand. I was just waiting, and nobody dared.
I mean,
and the game ended 1-0 in favor of Esperance of Tunisia, but a lot to play for in the second leg.
A lot to play for, and that pyramid game is sorry, not the pyramid game now. The Al Ahly game and Esperance. was the most talked about game for the quarterfinals.
Yes.
And it's lived up to its billing. But again, I'm a bit, well, when we go through the rest of the scores, it will also reveal that this is the highest we've seen, amongst all the games, even the CAF
Yes.
Confederations Cup, because the score line had been very, 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 very small. The difference margins is 1-0, is 1-1, and all of that. But shout out to, of course, Mamelodi Sundowns playing at home, welcoming Stade Malien 3-0. It ended.
Yeah.
Going into the second leg with a very, very super solid. Even though they'll be playing away, the South Africans,
They put their first foot already
yes,
in
have
the
gotten their
semi-finals.
best foot forward and looking like they'll be in the semi-finals.
Well, we'll look forward to that. But of course, the North African teams certainly wanting to change direction. But of course, we've seen their stability long term in these tournaments, and it's something that they would want to continue. But shout out to that referee, though. I love what he did, and it certainly has sent a message. If he's officiating any game, just be prepared that you cannot do any nonsense. You cannot
Until
misbehave.
You are out.
Exactly,
confirmed.
until you are out confirmed. But of course, it's an interesting knockout stage in the CAF Champions League, and the Confederations Cup was seeing a lot of depth and experience, even with mental strength when it comes to African football. And taking us back to some of the fixtures, searching for it now
Okay,
before
so we
I
have
get there.
FAR Rabat
Yes,
against Pyramids of Egypt. Ended 1-1.
and 3 finished in draws.
Yes.
Yes.
You have RS Bakane is one of those that finished in draws. RS Bakane versus Al Hilal of Sudan. That one ended also in 1-all draw.
And
of course,
Wydad Athletic Club
yeah.
against Olympic Club de Safi drew 1-1 in Morocco as well. And CR Belouizdad held Al Masri to a 1-all draw in Egypt as well. So yes, the second leg battles certainly have narrow margins, and they might be very decisive.
So who do
For
you see going into the semi-finals from these 8 teams?
Tough one. I think I'll say Mamelodi Sundowns first, because I do not see Stade Malien coming back in the second leg, even if they will be at home. I think that Sundowns are a very good side, and they can dominate in the second leg. So Sundowns for the semi-finals. And yes, Miami of Congo grabbed their first win. They edged Algeria's US Alger 2-1. I can't really say. I would still say that they are strongly in control of this tie, because there's something about Algeria and North African teams. They know how to intimidate
Very well.
opponents that are traveling.
And they're also
especially
very
for the second
determined.
leg.
They're also
They're
very determined set of people.
I don't know if I will call it determination when it's a repeated pattern that we've seen with North African teams using laser light on eyes of opponents. I remember it happened to Plateau United when they played this same Esperance of Tunisia in Tunisia, and the first leg was here in Abuja before the second leg was played in Tunisia, and the goalkeeper I'm sure that he was not even seeing. Shout out to Felice Ilechiko, they held their own, but unfortunately I don't know what happened in that game. I did not understand it. I watched it live, and even in the live game, you could see the laser lights, and you're like, how are the players on the pitch coping? So they can be very intimidating. So I think that the Tunisian might just edge this one, even if they had lost the first leg.
Very
Playing
well.
the second leg at home might be just decisive for them.
Yep.
Wydad Athletic Club and Olympic Club de Safi. I think Wydad Athletic Club might just advance, and it might just be a very tiny one, maybe with a 1-0.
But don't forget that Wydad are playing away. They'll be playing at home though.
I
So
still
that's-
fancy them to.
I think that they are also former champion, and it's an all Moroccan derby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So we expect fireworks in that one, and home advantage for both of them. Let's see what they make out of that.
I would like to hear your thoughts on CR Belouizdad holding Al Masri. What do you think about the second leg? It's going to be played in Egypt, I think.
Yes.
Oh no, it's still an Egyptian showdown,
Yes.
by the way.
Yes.
So the second leg would be played in El Masri Stadium.
Yes. El Masri. Look, Sierra Belouizdad is not a Nigerian team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it is. It
It's
is.
a Nigerian team, right? So I will put my money on Sierra Belouizdad rather than El Masri. El Masri has been trying to, get its foot solid on this group stage of the championship.
Yeah.
But again, they were able to hold their own, though they were playing at home. It took that late equalizer, actually. I think it was in the 85th minute. for Sierra Brosda to pull one back, as it were. So it's going to be a tough game, but I see Sierra Brosda going through.
And Zamalek returning
Zamalek.
home against AS Otoho.
Yeah, that's the Congolese side. Zamalek has not been very sharp and consistent
Like they used to in the
lately,
last
like
two
they used to
seasons.
be in the last 2 seasons. So I don't know if they'll be able to sort out their issues, but if they have, then they have a strong possibility. If not, then let's put our eyes on Otoho. I'm not saying put your money on, but
Yeah.
let's put our eyes on Otoho from
Not
Congo.
your money.
Yes,
Before you
from
say
Bogo
it's
DR.
something that.
Yeah.
Well, these results all leave the ties delicately poised. The return legs are scheduled for March 21st to 22nd, and that would decide the semi-finalists. These quarterfinals just shows how tight African football has become and even more interesting. Well, NPFL Matchday 30 also lived up to expectations. We saw a lot of home team dominance, which is boring on our part. We love it when we have away wins, away draws, and something that will shape up the league. But there was party on Monday in Lagos. When I mean party, when Ikorodu City hosted Rivers United, they edged them 1-0, by the way. But the faces that I saw in the stands and the VIP areas, it begins to tell you that there is a lot of politics in sport.
Very
It's just
well.
someone is just seated there because he has an interest. Someone wants to influence the game because he wants one team to be behind them. Or if you beat this team, I'm going to catch up with them. Or if that, we're not going to get into the details, but it was really interesting to watch. And we're going to see how the remaining days, the rest of the 8 matches for the season would conclude in the NPFL. But here are the results.
I beg your pardon. We're barely 7 matches away, right?
Barely.
Barely
7
matches
30.
to the end
Yes.
of the season. And are we looking at some of the results, or we're just...
I want to just run through some of the results
please.
because I don't want you to fire me. And the time is not on our side.
Yeah.
So, last season's champions, Remo Stars, edged Nasarawa United 2-1 in Ikene. Shout out to Remo Stars.
Yeah,
Eyimba beat Plateau United 2-0 in Aba. Ama John got a red card in like 20-something minutes or thereabout. And it was, the red card was not controversial. He handled the ball outside the area. So, the rule is the rule. But I have to say that Eyimba is an embarrassing team. You do not play against 10 men and you're struggling to score. Yes, they scored 2-0, but it came in the later stages of the game whatsoever. It means that with 10 men, Plateau United held their own. And they had about 3 shots on target with 10 men. And you begin to wonder, I don't know, what has Eyimba turned to? Kanu Nwankwo was not at the stadium. So I wanted to give you this gist.
Yep.
I wanted to save it maybe when we're all here, when it's a full house. I'll get your reactions. But there was a little bit of drama that happened in Apa, right? But I don't know if this was really evident because there was just the new coach, Emmanuel Dosh, the one that Abia State government, Alex Oti, appointed. And there's another faction of maybe the commissioner. I don't know what is with commissions.
Really?
What is with commissions and the clubs that play NPFL in this country. But there's another faction with the commissioner. Then there's another faction of those that are hoping to come into the system, maybe through the
So the GM is battling
management.
with 4. He's
So-
battling with 4.
So I just mentioned, now
4
that's 4
categories
factions.
of
There's the Kanu
factions.
Nwankwo. Some people
Yeah.
were singing, after the match, some people were singing Papilo's name. Shout out to Papilo. He's a legend in Nigerian football, no doubt. But he's a terrible administrator. And then there's the another faction. Well, let's bring it down to the business. Somebody slapped somebody because of substitution. I don't know who slapped who because I did not see it. But I got the gist. And it happened because I saw the reactions of the aftermath. So, what is going on in Nigerian football? Why are you slapping someone who was appointed to do the job? I don't know. First of all, I'm not saying.
It's passion. It's
Oh,
just
please,
daily
let's not excuse everything to passion.
No, it's
because
passion,
if it is
man. It's
passion,
passion.
all the fines, Bauchi fans will have not been fined. They will
Yeah.
have just been at home. The injuries
No,
that Rivers
passion.
United
You see,
sustained
when
against
you fail
Kwara
to-
United
when
is
you
not
fail-
passion, huh?
When you fail to manage your passion well,
Yes.
it can get you into trouble.
Yeah.
And that's what we've seen
Terrible,
with these
terrible
other games.
passion,
Yes,
by the way.
very
but
terrible passion. If
the
you can't
aftermath
manage
of
it,
the slap
Yes.
is what still baffles me. I heard that someone slapped the Emmanuel Dutch because of the substitutions he made during the game.
really?
And then from the where I stood and the conversations I listened to, I had a conversation with someone. He said that everybody was almost angry with the Emmanuel Dutch guy because he does something to players. So whenever you make one mistake, let's say you did not mark or something, you did not follow up on a pass or something, he substitutes you out immediately. I'm like, does that even hold water? How many substitutions do you have in a game? 5.
He's not the manager.
He's the manager. That's
he's
the
the
manager that
manager.
Alex Oti.
Oh. That name sounds and rings a bell.
That's the governor of Abia State.
Oh, okay, I see.
They call him the working one, and he really did his work when he appointed someone with, with expertise to help Enyimba out of this situation. But it looks as if, it's terrible. It's a terrible result for Plateau United because Enyimba had not won in the last 5 games.
Yeah, but honestly, with all this trouble that Enyimba was going through, if you remember during the last show, we were looking at predictions. Yeah, we're expecting that the least Plateau United
Would
could
have been a
and should
draw.
have come out with from Abash have been a draw. But
But we
unfortunately,
didn't see the red card coming, huh?
Didn't see the red card coming, and
we
then
didn't.
tables turned,
Yeah.
and then they lost on the road.
Shooting Stars thrilled their fans with a 3-2 victory over Wiki Tourists. That was a spectacle. Ooh, Wiki Tourists. Maybe Alimi would say, oh, yes, they play good brand of football. But that was an interesting game. 3-2, 5 goals in a single NPFL game. So we don't see that often.
Very true.
And it's something that we love to see, especially when it comes from both teams. Usually it's one team dominating with the goals, but this time around it was almost shared until Shooting Stars got the winner. And goalless draws for Kwara United and Rangers. Shout out to Fidelis Elechko, another point on the road again. And he did it in Lagos. But I'm sure that he had a lot of fans. He's a Lagos man. And whenever he goes to Lagos, there's this amount of fans that come to support him whatsoever. So, yeah, shout out to him. Since he came back from the national team, he has been on an unbeaten run and he has been helping Rangers, look like they are really fighting for that title in Lagos. And Tornadoes and Kano Pillars as well ended goalless. That's Kano Pillars picked up a point in Mina.
That's true. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Ahmed Musa. And Ikorodu City picked up win at home against Rivers United. Rivers United look like even the undeserving champions at the end of the day. They have the advantage with the outstanding games that they could have been able to cover up the gap with the teams that are on top of the table, but they've not won any away game in all of their outstanding fixtures. They have one more now to go. Do you think that Rivers United can solidify their position and say, hey, we're favourites to win the NPFL this season?
That's right. And I mean, that game was going to, like some people have analyzed, a major decider for where, I mean, if you look at again what Ikorodu United did, I mean, it was not just an easy game for them.
It wasn't.
It wasn't an easy game. And then, of course, Rivers United, we thought that they would be able to go to Ikorodu and pick up a draw. But I think with that result, it has also opened up the title race a bit.
It has.
We thought that we were almost going to get into a more defined and predictable winner for the season. But with that interruption by Ikorodu United or Ikorodu City, Rivers United, with the game in hand, need to pick up from where they've left, and of course, be able to, if they really want to pick up the title, win the next 2-3 games.
Well, the next round of the NPFL is going to be set this weekend, and Abia Warriors hosts Niger Tornadoes. That game is as good as I don't care about it because, I mean, Abia Warriors have been the most inconsistent team that we've seen lately. Kano Pillars take on Enyimba.
Your Kano Pillars is taking up, Enyimba is visiting, so can we have a repeat of what they did last weekend?
Okay.
Is it possible?
Kano Pillars to win.
Yes.
That's the answer. And Katsina United face Shooting Stars in Katsina.
And Katsina has not been doing so well.
Shooting Stars are also terrible on the road.
Yes, especially last. I mean, so what do you think?
I think that Katsina United dropped points away from at home the last time out, and I'm not sure that they want to take chances again with Shooting Stars. But Shooting Stars will want to go all out now that they have moved up the top 5 of the table. So I think that this might just be Shooting Stars' point takeaway for them this weekend in Katsina. Anything has happened.
I agree with you on that, yeah.
And Plateau United will welcome Bayelsa United. Bayelsa are in terrible form. I think Plateau United should bounce back with a solid win.
Solid win.
And they need to cover up for all of the goals that they have. They are 12th on the log with -3. Yes. So imagine if you cover that up, you could be 8th, 9th on the table with a win and 3 points. Rangers play El Kanemi Warriors. Cakewalk or the Antelopes?
Maybe a bit difficult, but I don't see them struggling.
Against El Kanemi Warriors?
Yes. I don't see them struggling. Where is that game going to be played?
It's going to be played in Enugu.
No.
At the Cathedral.
I think it's a smooth sail.
I think it's going to even be a game with a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Godwin Obaje I hope that he finally goes off the goal scorer
So
strat.
Uche
It's terrible,
Collins,
it's,
what happened in the course of the week?
but we've not heard of Uche Collins yet. But I think I saw their last game and I saw on live score that he's back. He even scored a goal
Scored a
for
goal,
them.
yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
what is going on?
And there was no word from anyone.
No word. Katsina United now did not say, "Oh, we're going. This is what we're going to do. We're going to punish." It means that Katsina United are not serious.
Yeah.
You could have punished the player for going a wall, right?
right.
But you did not. You said to put him in your.
In your squad. I mean, and played and scored without a word, with no consequences over that action. That's
It means he's going to
Nigerian
do it
football.
again.
That's Nigerian football. Yep.
I hope that things get better. Really, we need that. Other interesting clashes still this weekend. Remo Stars against Kwara
Kwara
United.
United.
Remo
Remo
Stars
is
are back in
playing at home.
Ikene.
Yes. They'll win that. They'll win that.
They will win.
They will win that.
But it's a battle of relegation.
Yes.
And I think that Remo Stars really need this if they want to survive the league this
But
season.
are you thinking they want to survive?
I don't want to. I'm so emotional about this. I'm not thinking. I want Remo Stars to win.
All right. Let's hope they're not thinking of going to the drop zone and, of course, playing in the second tier of the National League.
We wouldn't want that for Remo Stars.
Yeah.
Except if you're a hater. Except if you're a hater. Warri Wolves against Bendel Insurance.
Warri
South
Wolves,
Side
Bendel
Derby.
Insurance. Bendel Insurance may pull up a few surprises, but I don't see them winning.
Warri Wolves are also a team that have been inconsistent at home, but
Yeah.
they seem to have picked up
a bit,
gradually.
yeah.
I think that they could just win, but this round is going to promise us a lot of contests. Oh yeah, if you could see
But
that.
did you talk about Nassau United and Rivers United?
Oh no, my
I
bad.
think
I'm so
that's
sorry. The biggest game of the weekend.
Yeah,
I think I was saving this for the
yeah.
the
Biggest
last.
game of the week.
biggest game of the week. Well, Nasarawa United will be at home, and that would be comfortable for them.
Will they win over Rivers United?
Vast
With the
Mangots.
form that
Yes.
Rivers United is at the moment.
What form? They just lost to Corridor City
Yes, but I mean they're on the top of the log.
on top because they have well.
I know you have a
Nasarawa
soft
United-
spot. I know you
Nasarawa
have a
United-
soft spot for Nassau United.
I don't
know
have a
you
soft spot for
do.
Nasarawa United. I have a soft spot for Vast Mangots. If you should leave, I don't care about Nasarawa United.
Okay.
Sorry. It's the same way I love Lionel Messi. And people tag you as a Barcelona fan. He left, and I'm like, I can't remember the last time I saw Barcelona matches.
Oh.
Tells you where my love
But let's
is.
talk about that Nassau United game.
I think that
before we
Nasarawa
go,
United
yeah.
will be able to win.
They won't be able.
They will be able
Okay,
to win.
all right.
Yes, they lost their highest goal scorer at some point, but good thing is that about a team is being able to navigate your goal scorers. Look at Enugu Rangers, for instance. The highest goal scorer after Godwin Obaje is a defender. That tells you that anybody can come to the party whatsoever.
yeah.
Anybody can score, whether you have a striker or not. And I think that Nasarawa United should be able to get it.
All right. Nassau United, you got a fan here. I
Okay,
hope
so
you won't disappoint.
I thought you were going to tell me that Nasarawa United too would win or something. You're not.
No, I mean you've.
What about you?
What about me? With what?
What do you think will happen in the game? You think that Rivers United could upset Nasarawa United with a result?
No, I don't think they were upset. But I'm seeing a situation where they can't come out with a draw.
But in every game,
score
anybody can
draw.
do something.
Yeah. It's what?
In any game, anybody can do something.
Yeah, anybody can do something.
I want you
but
to tell me what you think Rivers United would do. You're not
difficult
winning.
to say.
You're not winning. That's what. the
That's
silence
but I've
means.
said that. Look, they may likely come up with a point. All right,
I doubt it.
you
Well,
win.
if you follow African football, you see that these are patterns that we keep talking about all the time. Make sure you join us for our next episode. Subscribe, follow, drop your comments, especially if you're a Chelsea fan. Tell us what you think. You can vent out to us. I know it's not African football, but you could just do that and be a part of the conversation.
You can be recalcitrant when it comes to Chelsea matters, really.
I was going to say you should follow us on our social media platforms, on TikTok, on X, on Facebook and Instagram at
Chelsea
Inside
fans,
Africa
make sure you
Football.
vent
And make
in
sure
our
you
comment
vent.
section, yeah.
Follow us and be a part of the conversation. So thanks for staying tuned. See you again next time. Bye-bye.
Ciao.